My GTA chums, we have a new car today, which is the Penault, which is based on the Renault 5 Turbo 3E. It's a turbo, even though it's electric. And I'll show you where to purchase this if we want to go to the old sim and get the legendary motorsport up. You can see 1.9 million. There's the Virtue, there's the other current electric, best electric Imani-Tech, 2.2 million, and both are all-wheel drive. There's the Virtue. Notice there's a bit of bullet protection from the rear in the Virtue, whereas this has windows all the way around. So if you're considering the Imani-Tech, which we're not necessarily. So I've done all the armour and all the upgrades. I've been driving it already, so I can tell you about that. But what I'm going to do first is do the customization, and then we're going to talk about racing performance and maybe even some Imani-Tech stuff. First off, I've already done a little bit of colouring in because I'm trying to make it like the race car that's on the electric race car that's on the YouTube. So the La Coureuse is the one to choose. So let's just roll through and see what else we've got. Some nice ones, some white liveries there, look good, but I think this is the best livery. If you're going to, I was going to do Sans livery, but I haven't. And what we need to do next is choose the right colours. So black on top. Oh, that's a bit odd, isn't it? Let's just look at what we can do with it, because I think we're going to need some carbon bumpers and things to make it look like the original. So there we go, like the carbon stock. Looks nice. And I think it's the stock. I should have got all the images up. You've got a little diddly daddly thing on there. I think carbon stock is the one to go for. And the rear bumper, also a carbon there is what we want. Not stick-up on, don't put stick-up on with this car. That looks nice. Okay, so that's that done. Engine is upgraded to the max. Bonnet. Similarly here, I think we need the white, but all white, not this black bit in the middle. I'm trying to find a way to do that. Might be the nearest. The primary vent head. But it does have that dip, and I like that dip. I think that's a design. Has that got the dip? No, it's not. That's kind of what we want, but we want the dip in the middle. Oh, that's more like it. That's more like it. That's the one, I think. I like that one. The stock is best. But that colour green is just not right. Okay, well, let's go back to this. Even though it's a little bit wrong for the design we're trying, we're going to put it on anyway. Okay, Imani-Tech, here's the important bit. Missile lock on jammer every time. Could use the RC unit, but it's not got guns. What else? Mirrors. So we can change these little mirrors here, but you can put standard mirrors on, but the mirrors it's got on now are exactly the same. They're basically GoPros, aren't they? I think that's what it uses. Plate. Now for this one, we're just going to pick a black plate. And roll cage. We might need a roll cage. I think it's already got a roll cage in anyway, so we don't need it. Oh, alright, you can change the seats. Roll cage with carbon seats. I can't tell the difference really, but you can do all that. Those seating arrangements on the inside, which look like they could be good. Maybe the roll cage with sport seats. Let's just look at the internals. Oh no, we can't. Sport seats, let's go for that. Roof. Alright, this is where we can hopefully have a carbon option. There we go, that's a bit more like it. Carbon stock roof. Let's just see what else there is. Roof racks never do that. I mean, that scoop could kind of work, but I feel like it doesn't suit the original, so we're not going to go with that. We're going to go with the carbon though. Shame about those kind of green bits at the back. This is dew yellow, by the way, the secondary colour. In case you were wondering, I didn't tell you that. We also want carbon on the bottom, something quite biggish. Oh, I like that with the Penault display. That's pretty good. But not really right either. They're all plastic and not carbon. Difficult decision. Why have they not got a carbon? Where's the carbons, dude? Plastic. I mean, I think there was a mention of recycled plastic in the car. I can't remember. I watched the Top Gear thing, but we're going to go with that. The GT. Spoiler. This is the correct spoiler, but I assume it's not got any traction bonus because it doesn't show. But the first spoiler is the one really, because it's got that yellow ends to it. I do like this one as well. That looks good. It could go with that yellow kind of framing of the window. That's where we could go off-piste, as the French would say. But I'm going to stick stock for this one because it's the original. That's what we're trying to build. Sun strips, don't have any, so although I want to put Fukaru on, there isn't any on the original, so we're not going to. Competition suspension, I've already done that, but you can raise it if you want to. Don't know even why they bother, because it gives the best performance. Oh, here we go, stock trunk. We want a carbon though, plastic. Oh, full carbon trunk. Oh, it goes all the way down here, you see? Okay, so we want the primary at the bottom and carbon at the top. Oh, plastic with primary. Oh, it's got louvres. You know what? Those aren't on the original, but I like them. I think it solves our green prot issue as well. We're going to do that. It's a bit wrong, but sometimes I do things like that. These are the original rims, so I'm going to stick with them. I wouldn't change them. But we need to put bulletproofs, which I've already done. Tyre smoke, I feel like we should have a yellow tyre smoke with this one. And windows, there is a bit of tinting to the original, so that's why I'm going to tint out the windows a little bit, just a light smoke. They should be purple actually, and we could do that on the lights here, but we're probably not going to, and we're not in the doodah to do that. That's it complete. I think that's a pretty good job, and let's take it for a drive though around the city. Acceleration's pretty good. Let's just have a look at the internals, see what we can see. Digital display, and just shows us it can get to probably around 120, the low 120s. Let's just take a right hand here and see where we go. It's not too bad handling wise, and well, it's very good handling wise is what I should say. Around the city it's very nimble, it's got a lot of grip for an all-wheel drive electric car. Traditionally they have a lot of slippiness to them, but this just does not suffer that problem. What is that thing doing in here? But it's also Imani-Tech. The good news is immediately it's got the guns, yeah, but you can also use sticky bombs, which is something they've traditionally cocked up in the past. So if you put the missile lock-on jammer on it, you're getting the Mark II oppressor coming behind you, boom shanker, and they're gone. That's basically how you do it. But it doesn't have bullet resistant windows of any kind. You'll just get a shot through straight away, and it doesn't have the Imani-Tech armour, so I assume it will take longer to blow up. So let's go on to the test track and see how she performs on the racetrack, shall we? So here we are on the test track, and nice little car. I like the way it drives. I like the actual grip you seem to get, despite being electric. It doesn't do that all-wheel drive grip thing, or lack of. Small car as well, so it throws itself into corners really nicely. I'll just take this corner here. Oh, a bit too slow, You don't need to brake that hard, come on. And left-hander, and yeah, it's just a very nice little car to drive. Very easy, very forgiving, and great for a short circuit like this, like the test track. Perhaps this could be the ideal car for the test track. Really surprising. And there's a HSW version, which this is not HSW, as you'll remember from my customization now. Let's take it. Oh no, I've cocked that up right royally, but still, we're getting a decent enough time. You're 55, 56 seconds, that's good. That's 56.33 seconds. So that puts this wee beastie behind the Pariah and the Italy GTO RSX, probably by over a second. So in the sports class, at least on the racetrack, non-HSW, it's not as fast as them, but I imagine the HSW is going to be a hell of a different story. And it is faster than just about any other electric car, I think, that's not HSW, of course. So it's a nice car, and rallying it as well. Let's have a look. I mean, it just feels right. It's very forgiving on the corners. It takes the bumps with ease. So a decent little rally car. It's certainly worth considering in rally races. So yeah, I think I'll probably use it to do a bit of rally. The top speed, unless it's HSW, is probably going to be the thing that lets it down. So those long straights are going to be tricky. So overall, as a racer, I think it's probably going to be the HSW that becomes the mould breaker, but do watch Bruffy's video for that to make sure you understand exactly what it's all about. But for me, it's a very good Imani-Tech car. It's faster than the Champion, I think. Oh, no, sorry, it's slightly slower than the Champion, the fastest Imani-Tech, I think. But the Buffalo STX is faster than that. But it's a nice car, just a very enjoyable car to drive. And for 2 million, you might think it's expensive, but for me, it's worth it. But then you don't get the engine noises either. So while it's a good car to drive, a very good car to drive, you might not find it a great experience, so you'll probably have to make your own engine noises going rrr, rrr, rrr. But I see one YouTuber, Digital Car Addict, was saying that he wishes they'd have done the petrol version, but if they'd done that they wouldn't have had the performance. So you know, I'd go for performance over oil use, definitely, even over the engine noise of it. I know what he means, but you wouldn't have the same design as well. I think it's got such a great design. It's very comparable to the Renault 5. I don't know why they didn't just call the brand Renault instead of Penault. I'm sure Renault wouldn't have minded. Maybe they would have charged them a few extra dollars, but they've already stolen the design entirely. So there's no reason for that. Great car, recommended. You won't be disappointed, and easily, hands down, the best car in this DLC. I've not even put rally rims on this either. These are just the standard rims, and it's still a breeze to drive. Look at that cornering. Oh, I forgot, didn't I, to blow it up at the end. Okay, so Imani-Tech wise, it is an Imani-Tech car, and this isn't representative, by the way, of exactly how it will perform, but I'm assuming it's going to blow up in a wanna. Oh, it took 1 missile? 2 missiles? Okay, so maybe it takes 4 missiles, because when you're inside, it obviously takes less missiles. We'll just get out the... let's find out how much it costs to replace as well, just to complete the video. Do drop a like at this point. 20 grand, standard. And thank you very much for watching. Have a most excellent day if you're playing Dust GTA.